This is Margaret Ann Windsor. Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers is the name that was given to me, Peggy Ann Dempsey. When I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41. I was born in 39. I was brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin. Both twins were deceased. Their mother had them out of wedlock and had murdered them. So I was placed there by the New World Order. Back then it was the Freemasons or Trilateral, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds. My own uncle, George VI, helped take down my dad. My dad was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, American Catholic, sister to George O'Keeffe, the artist. So she was a commoner, and some of the family didn't like it, but anyway, the New World Order, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, later Henry Kissinger was on the 18-minute tape where they were going to lobotomize me. So in previous tapes, I've told you some of the things that happened to me. Nobody's paid for it. They've all become wealthy, like, I'm going to show you the pictures again. Here's Elizabeth Illegal. Her father is meeting here with Roosevelt, planning my kidnapping. I was born in 39. That's no coincidence. I showed you a picture of Caroline Kennedy and Obama. She has now been confirmed as ambassador to Japan. Her grandfather, Joseph Kennedy, was ambassador to Great Britain during the time and helped with my kidnapping. So the cover-up with John is mind control was used in it, the programming to shoot Oswald, the whole fiasco. But the fiasco has been what they've done to me, and I've told it. I didn't know until 83. The Brits told me. Anyway, I've put that in previous tapes. Nobody's been held accountable at all. So I'm going to go back to Journal 2 I finished, and my ex-husband took me from West Paces Ferry after I had antifreeze in me, and he now had my apartment, all of it illegal. He took me begging to go to my apartment. He took me to, this is on a Friday, so it's Passover. He takes me to what's the name of it? Ridgecrest. It's a private hospital owned by psychiatrists, and or it was then, and for alcoholism. I've never drank in my life. The only time I drank, I didn't even know what liquor was, except I'd heard of moonshine growing up. When we would go out to eat and there was company benefits or company parties, there were a few times that I ordered it. I didn't drink it. I don't even like the stuff. So that being said, I was put there overnight, and I have to say that Dr. McClarty, he was head of the Georgia Psych. He was nice. He didn't give me any drugs that were psychotics that hurt me or anything, but it's the begging and the fear, and the way I was feeling with your brain baked, scared to death, you can't go home. So the next day, I think I'm going home. Instead, when my ex-husband comes to pick me up, and this is Saturday before Easter, so it's April the 5th of 80, some April Fool joke, wasn't it, to play on me, because of who I am, the monarch kidnapped who broke the law and the cover-ups and the hostage and the deals made. So he takes me out front, me begging to go to my apartment, which is now his, in his name illegally. And Lina Dempsey, the mother of the twins she'd killed, and I grew up being told she's my mother. By the way, she was with George Wallace when he was shot in Laurel, Maryland. He didn't like her, I can tell you that. But Anyway, I was shoved into her car, and Philip, that I grew up thinking he was half brother, and now then I find that he was probably a kidnap victim himself. Um, he worked for the ATF. He's retired. And as they shoved me in the car, he and his wife Nancy and Dempsey and my ex-husband, like I'm a criminal, they take my head and shove me in the condition I'm in. And the tox screen wasn't done there at that place, either Richwood or Ridgewood. So nothing was there either. That's the reason I had gone on April Fool Day to West Paces Ferry. And they shoved me in the car, and off she goes. And when she gets to Huntsville, we drove in the dark, and it was hell. And I know now she's trying to kill me. I just don't know why. I don't know about the kidnapping or any of that. So she takes me, and she leaves me at Crestwood. Now, that's another regular hospital, but she told me if I tried to run, she'd call the cops, and she'd have me locked up, get a court order. So with the background that had been established, who's going to listen to me? So she puts me off there, and I have no money. There was one person I kept trying to call, Carol Johnson, and I couldn't reach her back in Marietta. And I was left there, and that was hell. A doctor, you call him these doctors, Bill Goodson, was put in charge of me. And I remember when he came in, he said, "Are you going to write a book about me?" Well, I had never even spoke with him. So anyway, Dempsey tried, well, I mean, she's a scary woman. She killed her twins. I had grown up being so abused that nobody can know. She's a psychopath. So I finally got out, and I'm leaving out what happened there. I finally got out about a week and a half, 2 weeks later. So I'm there on Easter Sunday. I'm out. I don't remember, about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I'm forced to go back to her place where she tells me that my ex-husband is paying her to keep me. The abuse was ridiculous. She had a sign when I came in from being released. It was like she went to a nursery school and got it, and she pasted it up on her trailer wall, and it said, "Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a big fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again." Well, they're speaking of me, and I don't know if that's what's been done. I've been so abused. Put me back together. My God. These people can never pay for their crimes. Only God can do it. Anyway, the abuse just went on. My phone was shut down back at my place. I thought my ex-husband had moved my children and moved the apartment. I couldn't find it. I couldn't go back there. Quite frankly, the mental health system was being used against me. I was afraid to even move or speak. Couldn't find my kids. I was afraid they were going to be killed. So I have to go back to Crestwood, though. I went in there on Saturday night. Dempsey dumped me off there. The tox screen, nothing was done there either till the following Wednesday. A tox was done. And when it came back, it showed antifreeze in me, and I've forgotten the other one. I didn't even know what it was that was in me. I couldn't get the report. My ex-husband got it and handed it to me later. So I'm in Huntsville, and my kids, I don't have an apartment. And I go to work for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, and I live at Warren House. I got out from her place as soon as I could, and I went to Warren House. And Warren is a clue to Kennedy, who his dad helped kidnap me, and his assassination. If they told the truth, they'd have to tell about me and my kidnapping. And I'm working for Simpson, who Wallace Warfield Simpson was supposed to marry my father, and it was a takedown. He, an imposter married her. The whole thing, and a 99-year seal put on it. But anyway, while I was working there, they role played at the DA's office the Watergate tape uh, glitch that they erased. And I remembered when they were doing that, I remembered back in Atlanta, and Gonzalez had, I had seen some things. I had been beat up, and he had drugged me. And I was carried across from Northside, his office, and the hospital's there, Northside Hospital, but his office. I was drugged and carried across to College Park, where the trolleys are. It's across Atlanta. The trolley tracks and used to be there. It was a clinic, and a small one, and they took me in there and drugged me in there. I knew what was happening. I just couldn't speak or anything. And there was a phone call put through, and this is the Watergate tapes. And if my family or country didn't come through with it, I'd be lobotomized. Um, I'm there, scared to death. Finally, the call came through, and somebody came through for me, and I lived to die another day. Um, so this has gone on and on. Come to find out, after working at the DA and for the Golden Triangle, which was run by the CIA, and then it went bankrupt, Doyle Duke and Clarice Meadows, which I like both of them. But anyway, I ended up working at Computer Science Corporation at night doing Navy manuals on the computer until I was suddenly fired and then thrown back out on the street, lost my apartment and couldn't get another job, and ended up back in Atlanta trying to find my sons. And when I did, the police knew all this. The Cobb County Police always knew. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, a girl typed, I didn't know she worked for them until I called her. I run an ad to retype my manuscript because I was getting hassled and all that, and it needed to be retyped. Well, she answered the ad, and I paid her, but when I called her, she said she was typing it where she worked, and she worked for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the lab. Um, so, come to find out, my ex-husband had married right after April the 1st of 80 when this was done to me, a woman there within the complex. My apartment remained there, but I'm going to skip the next part of it because the Cobb County let it happen and my ex-husband did it. I was locked up again. All I was asking for was I walked to the Cobb County Police Department, asked for my divorce decree, the divorce to be fulfilled so I'd have a little money to get me a place. I was literally on the street begging, walking. And instead, the cops come and he had filled out a warrant to arrest me. And they took me off to the state in Lawrenceville for a month. And in essence, my children never knew what really happened. And in 80, I managed to survive and live. 83, I'm back in Atlanta, and I ran in the campaign, congressional campaign to replace Larry McDonald, the congressman doctor I'd written about, and the Billy Jack murder, the Warren Rosina murders, and the Slocumman murders, where they blew her apart on Christmas there in Piedmont, his hospital. So anyway, all these things just happen and they're a coincidence, right? And I'm the bad person. I didn't commit any of the crimes that were committed against me. And right at this moment, since 80, and I did find out that my apartment had been there. And when I tried to go, the Cobb County cops picked me up. And so you got the cops in all of this. And I'm going to leave it at this because this isn't the end of it. I mean, it just kept going. Not one person has ever been held accountable. I've paid for this country's crimes that they committed against me and still are committing.